Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Issues at Hand, WBS TV. If you're watching us, then you haven't been switched off. Wherever you're watching us from, you must be among the privileged that have a decoder, that have a top set box, that have paid subscription. If you aren't watching us, and there are some that are watching us on their cell phones. That is internet. That is technology at that level. There are others that are watching us away from Uganda. Last Friday, I got a lot of comments from people watching us on the live stream. Those possibly are not impacted by the digital migration. With me in the studio this evening is the Honorable State Minister for ICT in the Ministry of Communications?
ICT.
Information
and Communication Technology.
Yes, the State Minister in charge of the communication of...
Communication.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honorable Nyombi Tembo. Welcome.
Thank you, our dear viewers. I'm happy to be here.
Right. Several things that we're going to discuss, but in the first segment, we're going to discuss the digital migration and the impacts of that to you, to the guys that you have to pay bills for. Yesterday, I was called that an old set couldn't watch TV, and therefore they needed a top set, and they said, okay. And yes, it is a cost that we've chosen to go into. Is it one that the government envisaged? Is it one they wanted to go into? Or is it a cool way of doing business? Actually, my friends at UCC, Mr. Mtabazi and team, are also selling top set boxes, and I'm thinking, wow, they've gotten into trade. Honorable Nyombi Tembo.
UCC selling set-top boxes?
Yes, UCC has recommended, are they called recommended, certified top set boxes that
No.
Please buy these ones.
UCC, under the UCC Act, they have to type approve all communication equipments. A set-top box is a communication equipment. Before you put it on the system, because it impacts on the spectrum usage, they have to type approve it. So we have 14 set-top box suppliers who have to be type approved. That is not UCC selling set-top boxes, but it's their mandate to type approve.
It is UCC giving clearance to particular people to sell.
Under the law, you have to type approve every communication equipment. All transmitters used by telecom operators have to be type approved, because the issue is they have a linkage to the usage of spectrum, and UCC manages the spectrum as a regulator. So you cannot use an equipment that has not been type approved. So that's their mandate under the law.
Let's get into this quick and straight.
Sure.
Why do I need, as an owner of a TV set in my house, why are you sending me into buying a decoder? What we are calling the top set box is a decoder. It decodes signal.
Yep.
Why do I need to buy this? Why do I need to foot this bill?
You need to buy it because technology has moved, and most probably the TV set you have cannot hook on the new technology. Of course, there are quite a number of people who have TV sets that have digital tuners. Those ones won't be required to buy a set-top box. But obviously, you know that quite a number of our people, they bought TVs 10 years, 15 years back, 20 years back, 25 years back. Such a TVs, these people still value them, their assets. But of course, the new technology, they cannot hook on the new technology. Technology is disruptive. Whenever you get a new technology, you have to do some
What's the benefit
things.
of these people into this migration? Because I'm looking at a woman in Kabale today.
Yep.
A man in Padel, if they are receiving the TV signal.
Yeah.
Someone in Soroti. Why should I buy? I mean, what's the benefit of this to me?
Well, the benefit is a value chain. You can't look at the benefit to you as an individual, but you look at the benefit as a country, and of course you look at the value chain and the technological changes. You know that internationally we agreed, this is an international protocol under ITU, and Ugandans, we are prominent members of ITU, obviously we are on the council. You know that we are on the council of ITU. This is a UN agency. We agreed some time back that we have to transit from analog to digital. Why? Because analog TV inefficiently use spectrum. So we had to save some spectrum to be used for other purposes, because the demand for spectrum now is a lot because of convergence. We need broadband, we need data, but analog signals are inefficient users of spectrum. So ITU and the world, we agreed that let's transit from an efficient technology that efficiently use spectrum. So we set a date internationally and a protocol where Uganda is a signatory that by 17th June 2015 we should have migrated. So as to harvest that spectrum.
So let me understand
yes,
you, Honorable Taylor.
Yes, yes, please.
Effectively what you're telling me is, for you, the vendor of the spectrum, this gives you more space to sell.
Not we, the vendor of spectrum is a national resource.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And that is exactly
and
what
we
I'm
need
saying.
to.
It is a national resource
Yes.
that has been entrusted with your ministry through, through UCC.
Like the Minister of Oil,
like
Minister of Energy, you have to look at the minerals and the oil resource, tourism.
So what you are doing is you're saying, oh, what I had, I could only sell to a few people. I need to expand this to sell to more people. So this is a business venture.
Not only selling, but you know that the demand for broadband benefits all of us. We need to go LTE. If you are to go to LTE, you need a lot of spectrum, the so-called digital dividend. There's no way you can do it without harvesting the misused spectrum under analog. So we had to migrate to digital for the benefit of everybody. And of course, as you know, as I've said, technology is disruptive. When transit from one stage to another, the obligations that come with that transition. So in this case, the obligation is that on part of our viewers, you have to convert the signal. If you don't have a TV that has a digital tuner, you have to convert the signal, which you have delivered to your home, into your TV, if I could be as blunt as that. Because now what we have done, we have delivered a digital signal into your home. But putting this signal into your TV, you need to do something. And that's something, you need to buy a set-top box. And that's what we are saying. And that's, I think that's the problem. And anybody who is not viewing our signal in the Greater Kampala, where we have switched off the analog signal, it means you have not bought a set-top box.
What is Greater Kampala here?
Greater Kampala means 65 kilometers radius from Kololo here. So it means the whole of Kampala, the whole of Wakiso, the whole of Mukono, some parts of Mpigi, some parts of Luwero, some parts of Nakaseke. That's the Greater Kampala area.
And when are you switching off the rest?
The rest, we hope, if everything goes as we plan, we should be switching off all the areas where there is analog signal today by the end of August. Of course, as a responsible government, what we are going to do, we shall not switch off an area where we haven't delivered the digital signal.
Let me ask,
yes.
Honorable Tembo, have you done a survey on the digital top set penetration into the market? How
we know. We know it.
Give me the figures.
The penetration, for us, the penetration shouldn't be a problem, but the availability. As we talk today, on the market, we should be having in the range of 800,000 boxes available. And of course, since yesterday, you haven't heard of anybody complaining that they have gone to an outlet and they have not been able to get a set-top box. The issue that comes up every time is that the set-top boxes are a bit expensive, but they are available.
They are actually not a bit expensive.
They are available.
Expensive.
Yeah, the market price. The market price of a set-top box, that's what it is in this country. But because we have type approved 14 vendors, we and the big guys, GoTV and StarTimes, they have also come into an arrangement with us to provide non-subscription set-top boxes to the tune of 500,000 set-top boxes. That one has really changed the dynamics in the market. You know, some 2 weeks back, a set-top box was going at around 180. Because of that intervention of GoTV and StarTimes, we see it coming down to 125. And I'm sure with more competition, the price will even come down much lower than that.
I have one of the concerns of a lot of people is, as a regulator, both your ministry and UCC,
Yep.
for the pay television service providers, if I paid to view, I would be paying for the pay-per-view packages.
Yep.
When my payment expires,
Yep.
I am supposed to be able to view the free-to-air channels.
Yeah, sure.
And I can guarantee you this isn't happening.
Yeah, sure.
And the regulator is under the table sleeping.
No, he's not sleeping. We know this.
And
actually, the meeting which we've held this morning, that issue has been brought up. I'm looking at it at the ministry. We are already doing some analysis. In fact, tomorrow I'll be meeting the PayTV people to see how would it affect their business models. Because as a sector, I look at all the market segments. I look at the PayTV, I look at the free-to-air TV, and I want both market segments to flourish. So I must initiate a framework where both will benefit. So this issue has been brought to us, the concern, and we believe, so far, I believe, as the minister, that all set-top boxes should be able to read the Signet signal, irrespective of the subscription status. Obviously, I can't
I'll just read to
a
you
regulation
this.
before I engage the PayTV people to know how this may affect their business models. And tomorrow I'll be meeting the PayTV people. I will bring it to them. Then we shall weigh the pros and cons, and we shall come out with a win-win framework.
Benon Fred Twina Masiko, Kakwavu in Makerere, says, to Honorable, why can't UCC force all pay TV companies to give out free-to-air channels free to their customers and only require them to pay if they need more channels? This would save someone from buying 2 decoders eventually when one wants to revert to pay TV.
You don't need to buy 2 decoders. That's really misunderstanding the situation. If you bought a non-subscription decoder, it can be scrambled to go on a subscription. If you're on subscription, what we want to do in the framework we intend to develop is that even if you haven't paid, you should be able to view free-to-air.
That is the requirement. That is the law as it is now.
It's not. We haven't operationalized that, and I'm telling you, to be fair, I need to engage the PayTV people. I'll listen to them, see how that may disrupt their business models, and weigh the cons and pros. Then we'll issue the necessary guideline. But I'm convinced what you're saying, that's the way we should go.
But it happens everywhere else. And all countries that you're benchmarking that have done it, I will tell you that you have companies across the Middle East. Free-to-air is free-to-air. And if Ugandans are required to pay for free-to-air, they'll move away. And I'll tell you where they'll go.
Well, I've told you this concern has been raised. We are reviewing it. As far as we are concerned, we shall weigh the pros and cons. And we feel, personally, I feel that that's the direction we should go. But I can't do it without consulting the PayTV segment, because I need all of them. I need the PayTV. They have done a good work. They have revolutionized the TV experience in this country. Of course, the free-to-air TV, you are doing a very good job. as far as we are concerned, we want both market segments to flourish. So I must consult. Much as I'm consulting with the free-to-air TVs, I should as well consult with the pay TVs to say that we get a win-win for the better, for the advantage, for the benefit of our consumers.
Ainebeona Gideon asks, Honorable, are you also responsible for monitoring the quality of telephony in this country? I have a particular issue of interest. We pay for call time and calls drop like no one's business. I hope I understand that. Yeah. Calls drop like no one's business.
Quality of service.
And no one calls the vendors to book. Then James Edwin Ebba. Okay. James Edwin Ebba says, Chibazo, let Honorable tell us, is it the same direction that they are going to take with radio stations? Are they going to migrate them to some form of digital set? And of what value is it to me? Does this make it cheap for me to host a TV now?
Okay, I'll start with the radio. The radio, the quality you would achieve with the digital radio transmission, we have achieved with the FM, frequent modulation. We have achieved the quality that we would achieve with the digital. Of course, the technology is available for digital radios, but that one, we are not going there yet. But of course, we shall not remain behind. When the time comes, we will advise appropriately that we have also to migrate to digital radio. But so far, so good. With FM, with frequency modulation, I think we're achieving the necessary quality that we should have. So the radio issue, that one we shall cross the bridge when we get to it.
Get to the fellow that talks about phone dropping. And
Yeah. Quality of service. We have a robust mechanism of quality of service. In fact, the telecoms knows very well that when you fall below our set standards, the penalties are very, very, very high. You know the scuffles we've been having with one of the telecom operators because of this. The quality of service framework is in place. But what I should tell our people, yes, we monitor, but you also have an obligation as a consumer of telecom services. Complain. First, you have a contract with the telecom operator. Your contract is to give you a certain level of service quality. If you don't receive it, complain to them. All of them have put in place a quality control and the customer service mechanism to handle complaints. If they don't respond adequately to your complaints, we have a desk at UCC where you should complain, and we shall handle those complaints, and we will follow them up to the conclusion. And the penalty framework is very, very robust, and I don't think there is any telecom company that would want to go would want to clash with the regulator and the policymakers. They know it. We have put it in place. It's available.
This one is Maseka Derek. Maseka Derek says, Nyombi is my brother. But he has just said something that I hate to hear. The regulator is negotiating with those to be regulated whether they should do what is required of them in the law. Offer free-to-air service to everyone that is desirous of it. When this law was discussed at Parliament, when the regulation was discussed also among broadcasters, it was agreed that without a doubt, free-to-air would be available for everyone with or without subscription. Honorable Nyombi Tembo, my brother. And he says from the mountains. I wonder which mountains. My brother from the mountains. I don't remember a mountain in Lunguja. I don't remember a mountain in Lunguja. He says, my brother from the mountains.
No, of course. I know what he means. He actually is my brother. I'm a mountain person.
Maseka.
Yes, Masereka probably.
Possibly it was Masereka. I may have misread it.
Sure.
Yes, he says, my brother from the mountains. really stand up, get your shoulders up, do your job as a regulator. Don't be sucked in by those that you are supposed to regulate.
You see, regulation, we know what we are supposed to do. You are quoting the law, which I know on my fingertips. I hope it would have been very helpful of you if you quoted a specific provision where we are obligated to do whatever you are saying. But consultation in regulation is not sacrilege. In fact, good regulation, efficient regulation means you have to consult before you regulate. Because when you go into regulation without consultation, you'll kill innovation. And we are not about to take Uganda that route. We regulate, yes. We have obligations. Operators have obligations. We consult with them and get a win-win. We don't want to regulate innovation. We don't want to regulate and kill innovations. We don't want to regulate and kill people's business models. We consult, we weigh the pros and cons, and we issue the necessary directives. That's what we've been doing for the last so many years, and that's why our telecom sector is growing, because of that kind of approach we are taking. And we are convinced that what we are doing is the right thing to do. There's no way you can regulate technology without consulting the operators. You have to consult them.
Hilary Wanambwa says, isn't the timing suspect? Mbabazi announces presidential ambitions and campaigns, and they switch us all off not to see. Ha, 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 ha. Well, Wanambwa will come back to you as we take the break.
Does he believe that?